Sam gets to leave for work for 2 weeks and travel out of the country. He gets to go to Belgium, and I get to stay here and try to keep the farm going and set up my classroom. So you'll see bits and pieces of what a day in the life or a week in the life of solo farming looks like for me. So it hasn't even been a full day. So technically this isn't my first full day of solo farming because Sam was here this morning and left, and I think right now he's probably flying out of Chicago. But came to check on the cows, which you can't see them right now, but they're all on the road over there on the other side of this little crevice thing. But the ditch is overflowing the bank in a couple places back there. And then I drove up on this. And all I have is a shovel, and I don't really feel like getting that wet. So I called the ditch rider guy, and he's gonna come take care of it. So I have handled the first situation on my own. Let's hope there aren't a whole lot more over the next couple weeks. Well, good morning. As you can see, it is another smoky day on the farm. This is my first quote-unquote official day of solo farming. I am sitting in the side-by-side looking at the stopped big pivot. I stopped the big pivot because the little pivot stopped itself at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know why. And because of the clog in the ditch that made the water so high yesterday, I didn't feel comfortable just leaving them. Normally if they just shut themselves off, it's fine. If the ditch isn't going to overflow into the field, which it already was yesterday with both of the pivots on. So what I was supposed to be doing today, in fact I was supposed to be there right now, was to be in Nampa in a class. Sorry, I don't know what that squealing noise is. Learning how to teach reading. But I decided I did not want to leave this and be there all day with the wind being, I don't know if it was quite as strong as it was, if the wind was as strong last night as it was the night before, but that's what caused the clog in the ditch, and I wanted to be able to shut the headgate off, and I thought if I could get through here this morning before I had to leave and shut the headgate off, then that would be okay. But where the big pivot is, sorry, I'm just gonna shut that off. I really don't know what that noise is. That's all I need is for something to be wrong with them side by side. But all you have to do is get me through 2 more weeks, buddy. You can do it. So because the big pivot is a wiper instead of a full circle, so it comes over, hits the pivot stop over here, and then goes back over the same path to the other pivot stop on the other side. It covers this area in front of me twice. I don't know how to make it make sense. So when it's going towards the pivot stop, it comes across the side-by-side road, and then as soon as it hits the pivot stop, it starts going back the other way and goes over that same area. So this road is already super slick, or was already super slick and muddy yesterday. Having the pivot over the same area overnight was only going to make it that much wetter and slicker and muddier and slimier, and I didn't want, once the little pivot shut off, that pretty much made my decision for me that there was no reason to try to drive through all of this at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because I knew it was just going to be a big muddy mess. And like I said, with as much as the wind was blowing, I don't know what the ditch is going to do. So I just made the decision to stay here, to take care of this and be here in case. So I will make up that reading class at some point in the future. But yeah, so far, not a huge fan of solo farming, to be honest. Yeah. So you heard the noise that the side-by-side was making. I noticed last night there was a little idiot light on the dash thing here. When I googled it, it says something about like it might need brake pads or brake fluid or something. So I don't see where it's leaking anything or anything, and it seems to have brakes. So I just will try not to go up or down steep cliffs where I need brakes over the next 2 weeks, as long if I can help it. So good thing is neither of the pivots are in a swale, so it's a good place for them to stop. I did turn the water off to the big pivot so that at least when I drive through there in a few minutes, I'm not getting a shower on top of mud drags. So heading out to shut the head gate off, see why the little pivot stopped. Sam said sometimes it does it for no apparent reason, sometimes it does it because it's stuck. I'm hoping it's not because something's broken, but it is what it is. So when I find out, I'll let you know. Stay tuned. Our little concrete ditch looks fine. It's back down to about the level where it's supposed to be. The water was clear up to the top of it yesterday, just flirting with the edge. So then let's come over here. Yeah, there's some stuff in front of the dam, but it doesn't really seem to be, or that's what, oh wow, yeah. So apparently that's okay, or we did try to way of taking it out. And then this down here was up to the top. So there's the marked numbers, and then there's the dark thing behind it. The water was up to that, so, and then leaking in up here. All that tumbleweed stuff was what was blocking up down by the culvert. So I'm just going to turn the head gate off, and then I don't have to worry about it for at least a day. So that'll make me feel better. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I didn't film any of it. Went and checked on the little pivot. All the towers seem to be in a straight line. Couldn't figure out what it thought its problem was. Told it to walk. Everybody walked just fine. So maybe it was in a good stopping spot. Maybe it just got tired. Maybe there's some other reason I wasn't supposed to go to Nampa today. I don't know. But you can see from the tracks how much fun it is to drive in this after the pivots run over it. And there's a spot, I'm not going to walk up there because it's so muddy, but that first wheel track, I got stuck and started going sideways, so had to do a little maneuvering to get up out of there. But so yeah, first night and morning of solo farming. We're a little more I don't know what the right word is, a little more something than I was hoping for. So what I've gleaned from last night and today, if I don't leave the house, solo farming is fine. Outside the house, bad things happen. So if I could somehow remote control the farm from inside, I'd be just fine. But all in all, relatively minor things to deal with. There's always going to be something. And we were talking before Sam left that it's kind of one of those like prize wheels, like you spin to see what you win. It seems to be the same with the pivot. It's what's going to be the issue today. So I will definitely take clogged ditch and pivot shutting down for no apparent reason over some of the other things that we could spin to win on the wheel. So yeah, so that's first night and first morning. Oh, I did take some pictures. I drove down to see if the culvert got cleared out, and sent Sam some pictures of the pile, so I'll include those in this too, so you can see how much stuff was actually clogging the ditch. So it was pretty impressive, I thought. But yeah, so until this afternoon or tomorrow, stay tuned. Welcome to day 2 of solo farming with Brandy. As you can see, the smoke from the tartar fire continues to drift and filter this way. I just feel horrible for all the people who were affected by that fire. I don't know how big it is. I haven't seen any of the updates for today, but it's over 100,000 acres. They're trying to keep it from moving to the east or the south anymore, which I think is where the town of Weiser is. But there's still a lot of farmland, rangeland that's being affected. So it is Tuesday, August 4th. I am wearing a coat because it's 52 degrees outside. And if I were just out here to be out here, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because I'm out here turning on water and I know I'm gonna get wet, I'm dressed like it's winter. I don't really know how to feel about that. I didn't film a lot yesterday afternoon because it was thankfully very uneventful. I just went out, checked the cows. They were where they were supposed to be. They were doing cow things, and that was all that required. Today should hopefully also be uneventful. Right now I'm just going out to open the head gate to turn the water back on. We just had it off for about 24 hours. So yes, fortunately the pivot is off right now, so when I drive underneath it to get out back, it won't be a problem, but I have to start the big pivot before I can start the hand lines, which is on today's agenda. So not only will I get wet driving under the pivot, let's see, how do I have to do this? I have to start the big pivot. I'm gonna have to drive under it to start the hand lines in the middle, drive back under it to come start the hand lines at the top corner and down by the mailbox. Thus the coat. And then tonight I have to go back out and shut off the hand lines. So you've already seen all that. I'm not going to bore you with that. I will show you where the head gate is though, because I don't know if I've showed that. So stay tuned. Okay, since I don't need to drive through here for any reason, I'm just going to leave the bottom spring attached and just step over it. I don't remember. I think Sam said when the top one's off, that's what powers the fences, so I don't know if the bottom one's actually on. I don't really want to touch it to find out though, because I just checked the fence and it's all got 8,000 volts going through it. So here's our head gate. This is the dam. Yeah, the ditch is definitely lower than it was the other day, which is good, but I'm sure there's enough water. And I just told the ditch rider that we're going to turn the water back on, so if he needs to order more or whatever. I don't know if that little clod in the middle is going to cause any problems. It's been there for the last couple of days, so I'm just going to leave it for now. I do have the pitchfork in the back of the side-by-side just in case. So walk down here, you can see how high the water got, or I don't think the water got this high. I think it leaks in from that little corner right there, but it's pretty high on our end on the inside, and about the same on the outside, so that's good. There is some stuff in front of it, so I think I am going to go grab that pitchfork and try to clean it out really quick. And then otherwise all I have to do is just open this in the direction that says open, so that's this way. And then, I don't know, you probably can't see down in there because I can barely see down in there. Just open this up. There's a gate down there. There's a bolt about half, I don't know. There's a bolt down there that the gate won't go past. And I don't think you can probably see them because of the weeds, but all the cows are right there right now. So good to see them out this morning. Just mumbling through the grass. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a pitchfork, clean that stuff out of in front of the head gate. Looks like maybe there's a little bit on the inside here. And then open that all the way up. Drive to the center pivot control panel. Make sure the water's on and start it. And if I'm lucky, I might be able to drive under it before all of the drops turn on to the middle where I'm going to turn the hand lines on first, so that I only have to get wet going back through it. Yeah. Will I be that lucky? Probably not. But anything's possible. This is the little concrete hole, I don't know, where the water comes from the head gate into here, through this screen, and down the pipe to the pivots. So that's kind of where we're at today. So unless something different, new, or exciting happens after this, it's just poking a button on a control panel and opening some hand lines. So stay tuned for the next exciting installment of Solo Farming with Brandy. There's all the cows. Just hanging out on the other side of the ditch. That makes me happy. Okay, note to self, way too hot out here for a coat. Probably way too hot for a sweatshirt when you're walking around out in the field. If you're just standing here, probably not. I was glad for the coat when I did have to drive under the pivot though. Maybe I need it more tonight when I come out to shut them off than when I come out to turn them on, because there's usually a little bit of a gap between when they're starting and you can usually walk through, but to turn them off you have to walk through all of the sprinklers in the water, and then the risers, you know, shoot you in the face when you're trying to get them to turn off. So when I turned the water on down here previously, I usually start with the farthest one and turn it on and wait for it to come on, and then I go to the next one and go to the next one. The other day, Sam had them on, I swear it was like in 5 minutes, and he said he just does 4 turns, 3 turns, 2 turns, and then they kind of all just come on at once instead of waiting for one and then the other. So that's what I did this time. It seemed to work just fine, and it's faster, and I didn't have to try to dodge sprinkler heads that way. So I like that system. So now I'm going to go feed the pigs, and then I'm going to put dinner in the crock pot. And I don't know what else to do for the rest of the day, but I'll figure something out. So thanks for following along with morning 2 of Solo Farming with Brandy. Stay tuned. Welcome to Solo Farming Day 3. Day 2 was blissfully uneventful. I turned the hand lines off last night. I was going to come out here and check the ditch and things, but the cows were all right here. So I did not want to try to open the springy gate. So I just stopped over there and just kind of watched them for a few minutes. They all seemed good and happy. So this morning, so last night when I turned the hand lines off, I turned the little pivot back on. It seems to be doing its thing. Big pivot's doing its thing. I don't know if you can even see it. It's just over the top of the hill, right there-ish. So neither one of them are across the road right now. I had hoped that the road would be dry enough that I could drive on it without a lot of issues, and it was manageable. It's still pretty wet. So yeah. On the agenda for today, unknown yet so far. Just hoping the pivots keep pivoting, really, is all I have scheduled. The hand lines won't need to go on again. Potentially I could turn them on tomorrow. I think I might wait until Friday. It kind of just depends on how the little pivot's doing. The alfalfa's getting tall enough that it's really hard to find gopher mounds efficiently. So I thought I might just kind of see what I can see from the road. Hopefully there won't be a lot to report for today because it's just going to be a quiet day of the pivots pivoting. I was hoping that's what would happen and I would feel comfortable leaving to go to the school, but that is not yet an option due to the housing of the firefighters, which they definitely need their sleep and peace and quiet, and I want to do my part to allow that as much as possible. So when things go good on the farm, it's nice and quiet, and I don't have the ability to work on projects like Sam does, so I'm getting a lot of reading done, which I don't mind at all. I checked the voltage continuity, I don't know what there's some words. I checked this fence, I think I said yesterday, and it was getting about 6,000 volts or 8,000. Sam said that kind of just tells us that the charger's working, so I'm gonna go over there-ish and check the one by the cattle guard. And then depending on what happens in the field as I drive around, I might go check the end of this one that's over there somewhere. So yeah, that's all that's on my agenda for right now. Hopefully I have nothing to report until tomorrow morning. So keep your fingers crossed for me and stay tuned. Just around the corner from, I think, where the cattle guard is. There's a lot more corners on this ditch road than I remember. But just noticed all the cows are just hanging out down here under the trees and the grass next to the pond. So everybody seems happy and cow-like, which is what we want to see. So it is kind of funny how they sort of segregate themselves a little bit. I don't know if the trees are gonna be in the way. So this one over here on the left, kind of by herself, is Comet, and then those are over there. So we've got the black and the non-black group. I don't know where Rosie is. Sometimes she's with Comet, sometimes she's with the others, sometimes she's off by herself. But everybody seems to be getting along really well and just doing their thing. So that makes me happy. Keep doing your thing. It is funny when I drive up with the side-by-side, depending on where they're at, they'll all just stop and look at me. No, I don't have green for you. I'm just checking on you. So anyway, cows are cool. So I think I've shown it before. This is the, I don't know, we call it the dam, but it's just this, I don't know what the actual words for it are, this metal walkway bridge thing. I think I've shown it before. This little clod of stuff has been here for a while, and it seems like it's getting a little bit bigger. So I figured I'd just stop real quick since I have the pitchfork, just to see if I can get some of it out of the way. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it, and it doesn't really seem to be bothering our stuff, but I don't want it to turn into a big giant mess, and it looks like there's a little bit in front of the head gate that I can clean up, so I'm gonna do that really quick. It might not look a lot better, but I got quite a bit out over there, so I'm gonna call it good. It makes me feel better, so that's really all this was about, was just to me feel better, so mission accomplished. So this is the other place we checked the fence, down here by the bottom of the little pivot, and it was clicking at 10,000. So pretty sure all the fences are good. Hope all the fences are good. And now it is time for lunch. So that's the next thing on my agenda. Stay tuned. Sometimes you just have to wonder why. Like, why do I even try? So I haven't driven the car since Monday. It's Wednesday. Whatever that thing is was up on Monday and yesterday. Did gravity just get really strong inside the car? Did a big wind come and shake the car? Why? They just got tired and needed to lay down? I mean, it's still protecting the dash, I guess, but why? So I guess this is what we'd been practicing for. It's about 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, and I just got a notification that the pivot stopped. The last two towers looked like they had walked farther forward than Tower 4. It's not really in a swale, so I don't know why it would be stuck here, but I'm gonna walk down to the fourth tower and just see what I can see. So I stopped, turned the water off, walked it the opposite direction to kind of try to get it lined back up. And like I said, I'll go see what's going on with the tower. So, okay, well, I walked it towards me and it walked just fine. So then I had it switch directions and it seems like it's stuck right here, but I don't really understand what I'm seeing for sure. Maybe there's just a big hole right here that I can't see. It almost, I don't know. I haven't looked right here. Maybe it always did. It kind of looks like the track is, or the frame is digging into the dirt right here. But again, maybe that's just because it's stuck. So I'm gonna go get the side by side. I'm gonna hook the winch up to it. I'm gonna turn it back on and try to help pull it through here. Yeah, so one of the things that Sam had told me about is it kind of makes a washboard. So depth is kind of weird, but you can see the ground's kind of higher right here and then drops into a hole right there, and then it goes up and then drops into a hole. So that's why we put gravel and stuff in here. So I think there's some gravel in the back of the side-by-side still. I'll just walk it through here and then try to shovel some gravel into it, I guess. That's my plan. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. All right, well, it made a couple of rotations on its own. I went ahead and unhooked everything, threw a couple shovelfuls of dirt into the deepest part of the hole. I'm gonna go turn the water on and start it walking again and hope for the best. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Good morning. It is Thursday, August something. I want to say 6th. Yes, it is the 6th. Woohoo, I got one right. I think this is day 4. I have completely lost track of the days. Pretty sure this is day 4. So last night I recorded the big pivot getting stuck, getting it unstuck, feeling very proud of myself. And then about the time that I got it restarted and was going to head back to the house, I got a notification that it had shut itself off again, which I thought was very rude. And yes, very rude. Inconsiderate, that was the word I was thinking of. So then I was afraid that maybe I had misjudged which tower was stuck. So in an attempt to drive over as much of the growing alfalfa as possible, I drove down the side-by-side road down to the 3rd tower, which didn't appear stuck at all. So then I noticed that the 4th tower wasn't moving again, which is the one that I had just unstuck. I think that's the right word. Unstuck? Unsticked? Unstuck. Gotten unstuck. And it wasn't really moving. So instead of driving... Anyway, long story short, I just drove across across from one tower to the next, unstuck the 4th tower again, and then turned everything on, and it seemed to work correctly for the rest of the evening. And this is where it is right now, which poses a couple of issues. I think now, should have thought of it last night but didn't, I think now what happened was it went through another set of kind of the washboard dips. And I know I put gravel in the one, but I didn't really pay attention to where it was and to see if gravel really needed to be put in the second one. So, in an effort to do 2 things, 1, work harder, not smarter, and 2, hopefully save future me some worry and stress, I'm going to just take the side-by-side in a 5-gallon bucket, load it up with some 3 scoops of gravel, because that's about what I put in the other hole. And because of where the pivot is, I don't want to try to drive through there and drive over the road that just has been watered all night, because it's just going to be a sloppy, muddy mess. And I don't want to drive over the alfalfa that has just been watered overnight. And I don't want to drive around up that side of the pivot, So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna walk from the center 4 towers out and put the gravel in the hole that I'm pretty sure was where it got stuck last night, the second time. I'm sure if Sam were here, he would probably just drive through there with the side-by-side, or he would have the loader or the tractor or some other way of doing this without carrying rocks in a bucket. But it's what I feel most comfortable with and what I know will cause the least amount of damage to all the things. So even if it's the least efficient way to do it, it's the way I'm gonna do it. And since I'm the only one out here and no one can tell me no, that's my plan for today. So yeah, if anything exciting happens, I'll let you know. Otherwise, just keep pivoting. That's all I can say. Okay, so that wasn't too big of a deal. Walked out here, put a little bit right there. I think put a little bit back there and a little bit in there. I'm wondering if I wish I would have put more in there, but honestly, I think it's a much more, like it has to go down this to go that way. There's not a big steep ledge that it's trying to climb up. So it's supposed to, and you can see how much got driven over and smushed down, and this is only this side and the track over there and my walking path, and yeah, we're just smushing alfalfa all over the place, but it's what you got to do sometimes, I guess. It's supposed to, the big pivot's supposed to hit the pivot stop this afternoon in a couple hours, maybe around 12:30 is its estimate, and then it'll take probably maybe 24 hours to come back around to the house side. Maybe, I think that's right. Or 36 hours. I can't remember. But it's got a while. 1, before it's going to go through there, and then 2, before it has to come back through there the other way. So it's supposed to be hotter today than it's been the last several days, but we still have a lot of smoke, so I don't know how much things are really going to evaporate. We'll just have to see. What I have learned is, whoop, there's a hole right there. Every time I try to make a plan, something happens to change it. So I don't really have a plan at this point. I'm just gonna make some tentative thoughts and see what happens. So because the side-by-side road is so slick right now, I know it's only gonna get worse this afternoon, but again, I'm hoping that maybe the temperature will help dry stuff out a little bit. So I'm not gonna go back and check the ditch right now. I'll check the cows tonight. So yeah, hopefully I won't have any more to report from today, because it will just be a boring, uneventful day. I have hoped that before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's solo farming roulette. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Good morning. It's Friday, August 7th. I don't know what day we're on. I was out just gonna start the hand lines this morning, started the ones in the middle, went to start the ones over wherever they are. And they kind of started up, and then all of a sudden just started just kind of oozing water, not really like spraying and turning the sprinkler parts on the way they're supposed to. So I thought, well, maybe I just didn't open them far enough. Went through, tried to open a bunch, closed a couple, finally called Sam and just said, I don't know what's going on. I checked to make sure no plugs had blown out. There were no gaps in the hand lines. And he said, well, the big pivot just shut off. I didn't get a notification about it. I had no idea the big pivot had just shut off. Come up here. Nobody looked, like none of the towers looked super out of line, but sent him a picture and said, which tower would you think would be the problem? He said number 2. So walked it back to where I could, walked down to look at the tower. The back, so that there's a front tire and a back tire. The back tire is flat and trying to pull itself off the rim. This is not a fix that I can perform by myself. So I have a text out to Sam to see what he would suggest. I hadn't planned on. We made the plan to go ahead and turn the water off today and probably tomorrow. We'll see what happens when this gets fixed and how. But I really just thought it was gonna be a quick, hey, nothing new's happened, so we just keep farming. Thanks for watching, stay tuned. But no, on today's spin of the what's gonna go wrong with the irrigation wheel, I get flat tire pulling itself off a rim, have to replace the tire on a pivot. There could be worse things to get, but that is pretty high on my list of things I didn't want to have happen. So I will keep you posted. Probably won't film a lot of it just because I'll be busy trying to do the things and stuff. So, but stay tuned. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Wish me luck, please. Thank you. It's Saturday the 8th. Ryan's out here helping me.
Hi, YouTube. I mean, in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. What did we do? We got the railroad tie out here. Ryan hooked the chain up. I'm gonna scoot forward just a little bit, then we're gonna lift it up. And then we'll try to take the tire off, so stay tuned. Well, here I thought I was gonna be the one doing the work, and I'm just standing around watching. So, I guess I'm lending the moral support instead of the other way around. Well, that pretty much sums up week 1 of solo farming with Brandy. We got the tire off, got it to the tire store in Payette, and that's as far as we made it. So, yeah, not exactly what I thought I'd be doing this week, but we got through it all. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Sam, for your advice from Belgium. And thank you for watching. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.